Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
It is another great night in the Motor City and a perfect night for Tigers baseball. Tonight, interleague play returns as we welcome you to Comerica Park. Game one in this three-game series featuring the Mets and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers baseball. Mario and Pepper, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us for Mets Tigers tonight. And I tell you what, we got ourselves a good pitching matchup for this one. We'll start with Justin Verlander. What a month of July he had.
He really has had a wonderful month of July. He was the reigning and is the reigning pitcher of the month in the month of July. He was simply stellar within the month. He won 4 games, did not lose a game. 1.69 ERA, overpowering fastball for Justin Verlander these days. You know all about his secondary stuff, but really his game has really gone to a whole nother level the last 3 months. He is pitching as well as he pitched back when he was winning Cy Youngs.
All right, now his opponent tonight will be treated to the flowing locks of Noah Syndergaard. This guy's the first time we've seen him live, and man, he can bring it.
Well, we know he's got show hair. He's got that much going for him, but that's not it. This guy's total package is unbelievable. The fastball average is 98, but he will touch triple digits at any point in time. He might touch triple digits in the first inning. And then he's got power changeup, Mario, about 90 miles an hour. I mean, it's a legitimate swing and miss pitch. And when those two aren't working, well, he's got that slider, Mr. Snappy. He snaps that off at about 92, 93. Tigers have a very difficult assignment here tonight going up against Noah Syndergaard, but the New York Metropolitans, they also have a very difficult assignment going up against Justin Verlander. Nobody pitching better than JV right now.
All right, Tigers have a lineup that will not be afraid of Syndergaard tonight, especially J.D. Martinez with the way he's swinging the bat.
He's been getting busy, and not since he's come off the disabled list. He has 3 hits since a couple of days ago, but even before he went on the DL, he was swinging a hot stick. He makes this lineup that much better. He lengthens the lineup, as a matter of fact. Take a look at his overall body of work since June 3rd, because he did spend some time on the disabled list, hitting nearly 500 with lots of extra base damage, and he's sitting right there in the batting order right behind Victor Martinez. J.D. Martinez is one guy that will make this already really good lineup go even further. The lineup has simply performed very well.
This should be a whole lot of fun tonight. Verlander, Syndergaard, game one of the series coming up. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Coliseum Studios. Check in with Kristen Keith. How about Miguel Cabrera? He's been red hot. He'll try and keep it going tonight. Tigers Mets, game one next. Tiger Curtis Granderson and the Mets are in town tonight for Game 1 in the series. They will face right-hander Justin Verlander, presented this evening by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Justin Verlander has gotten himself in the Cy Young conversation with the way that he's pitched the last couple of months. 11-6 overall with a 3.54 ERA, 155 strikeouts for the Tigers ace. He's only walked 40.
Here's the starting lineup he'll face tonight, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. The Mets have Granderson, De Aza, and Walker at the top. Jay Bruce, recently acquired from the Reds in right field batting cleanup. James Loney is at first base. Kelly Johnson at third. Nimmo, Rivera, and Reynolds your bottom three tonight for Terry Collins and the Mets. And a huge crowd still filing into the ballpark here tonight as Curtis Granderson digs into the batter's box.
And nice round of applause for the former Tiger, Curtis Granderson.
Had a fabulous career here in Detroit. Here's the first pitch of tonight's ball game. It's a strike called on the outside corner.
Justin Verlander will see 7 left-handed batters here this evening. That's the lineup that Terry Collins has given the home plate umpire. And Justin holding left-handed batters to a .203 batting average.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's ripped down the first base line, foul, 0-2.
And Granderson very much a dead pull hitter, and really has been a pull hitter since he played for the New York Yankees at short porch in right field. Granderson hit a whole lot of home runs while he played for the New York Yankees.
Yeah, that ballpark seemed built for Granderson.
He became a dead pull hitter when he spent that time in the Bronx.
And because of that, now the Tigers playing to pull on the right side. They shift against Granderson. Verlander is ahead 0-2. And a high fly ball lofted into left. It'll be playable for Justin Upton, staring into the sunlight for round number 1.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health. Left to right, you've got Upton, you've got Collins, you've got Martinez. Third to first, Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, the big fella, Miguel Cabrera, and James McCann is behind the plate. 113 double plays tired by the Tigers defense, third most in the majors.
Tyler Collins getting the start in center field. Tigers are still without Cameron Maybin, sprained thumb. So Tyler gets the start out in center field tonight. Here is Alejandro De Aza. And he'll look at a ball outside, 1-0.
De Aza a pretty good fastball hitter. Always has been a decent fastball hitter, although numbers aren't very good this year for De Aza. Batting just .206.
3 homers, 9 RBIs for De Aza. He's been with quite a few different ball clubs, including the White Sox in the American League. That's popped up. Shallow left center field. And it's going to be Collins under it. And there are 2 gone. We'll bring up Neil Walker. You see the list of guys on the DL for the Mets?
I have seen that list, Mario. It's extensive.
It is lengthy, man. You're talking about Cespedes, who just went on the DL. You got David Wright and Lagares and Reyes and Matt Harvey.
Duda.
Terry Collins playing with a shortened deck in this series. They just put Cespedes on the DL. Terry, Michigan native, got him to the World Series last year. There's a foul back out of play, 0-1 on Walker. Here you go.
Zach Wheeler left him off. Jose Reyes. They just reacquired him, and he's landed on the disabled list, as well as Asdrubal Cabrera.
You've got all-stars on that list.
That's the start 9.
Yeah, some of the best players in the game not going for the shorthanded Mets. No balls, 1 strike on the former Pirate Neil Walker, who taps one slowly, and Verlander was able to get it before it rolls foul. It's a nice play. And it'll be a 1-2-3 inning for JB. On our way to the bottom of the first here at Comerica, no score. Go to the bottom of the first. Their starting lineup tonight presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Kinsler, Collins, Cabrera at the top. Victor Martinez back in there. The DH. JD is in right. Castellanos 6 homers in interleague games this year. Upton, McCann, Iglesias rounding it out for Brad Ausmus, and they are facing the right-handed offerings of Noah Syndergaard.
Well, he's what they look like. That's what big league scouts say about Noah Syndergaard. 9-5 with a 2.48 ERA. As a matter of fact, he's winless in his last 4. A couple of no decisions and a couple of losses, but this guy is outstanding and has outstanding stuff.
Syndergaard listed at 6'6", 242, Mansfield, Texas, the hometown. And the first one is in there for a strike at 97.
Why does it always seem like the biggest, harder throwers come from Texas?
It's there's got to be a reason behind it. It can't be coincidence. Here's the 0-1 pitch. He tried to check it. He went around.
First pitch fastball 97. Second pitch slide piece at 90. Located beautifully on the black.
Kinsler, a 3-game hit streak, 7 hits on this homestand for the Tigers. Rivera wants the fastball up, and he missed with it. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Looks like it's going to be a tough assignment today, partner.
This is a high-octane game, believe me. I mean, this guy right now at 97, 98 in the first inning.
He might hit triple digits right here.
Fouled back out of play.
He will make some mistakes over the heart of the plate, and we do know the Tigers have an outstanding fastball hitting team. And if he makes a mistake to Miggy or JD or Victor or Upton or even Castellanos for that matter, any of these guys can hit him out of the ballpark.
And again, the 1-2. That'll bounce in. 2 balls and 2 strikes on leadoff man Ian Kinsler.
And Syndergaard has a fastball that does get up to about 101. He's got a slider that he throws anywhere from 89 to 91 miles an hour. His changeup is hard as well, about 90 miles an hour, but he has a curveball at about 83, 84 miles an hour.
Jeff Glover and Associates brings you the scouting report on Syndergaard and his average fastball velocity.
It's the best in the game.
Think about that. That's an average. That's not the upper reaches. That's an average.
Yeah, his first pitch of the game was 97.
The 2-2. And he missed inside. 3-2. Awfully close.
This has turned into a terrific at-bat by Ian Kinsler after falling behind Syndergaard. No balls, 2 strikes.
There are only a couple of Tigers that have history against Syndergaard in this lineup tonight. There's a drive to center and a base hit. Ian Kinsler took 99 and drilled it to center field.
These major league hitters can hit a bullet if it's straight and it's over the heart of the plate. And this was straight, 4-seam fastball right over the heart of the plate. Real short, quick, compact swing by Ian Kinsler. That's the kind of approach you have to have against Syndergaard. You saw how early Kinsler got set, and he just made good, solid contact.
Here is Tyler Collins batting in the 2 slot tonight. Leadoff man on for the Tigers. And Collins looks at a strike. The only Tigers tonight, well, the only Tiger with a history against Syndergaard is Upton. He's 0 for 6 against him. Maben has seen him, but that's about it. That, of course, does not count spring training. The 0-1 runner goes, and it's hit in the air toward left field. Moving back is Nimmo, still going back to the track to make the catch. And retreating is Kinsler, 1 gone.
Let's take a look at the New York Metropolitans starting defense presented by Tim Hortons. And left to right, you've got Nimmo, you've got Diaza, you've got the newly acquired Jay Bruce. You've got Johnson, Reynolds, Walker, Loney in the infield, and Rene Rivera is the catcher.
Syndergaard now will face Miguel Cabrera, and this is worth the price of admission.
You can run on Syndergaard. There has been 34 attempted steals against him this year, and his catchers have only caught 4, so that's why Ian Kinsler was on the move.
And Cabrera looks at a ball outside, 1-0.
I think that's the one thing, Mario, that I've noticed in a lot of my years in baseball. When you have guys like a Syndergaard, big, hard throwers, power pitchers, very seldom do they do a good job at slowing down the running game. They do get better as they age when they start to pay more attention to the base runners, but right now, Syndergaard does not do a very nice job.
Do you think part of that is that most of the guys, at least throughout the history, that have thrown really hard, maybe sometimes are bigger guys, like this guy right here is 6'6"?
Yeah, and the fact that usually when that guy does get on first base or even on second base, they feel like they can still get those hitters out.
True.
They don't change their delivery.
1 ball, no strikes. Runner goes again. Big jump, no chance to throw him out. Forget about it. Now Kinsler thought about going to third, but he'll retreat.
I know Ian Kinsler doesn't steal third all that often, but with Syndergaard on the mound, anybody that can run in the Tigers lineup today, when you do get on base, you need to steal. Nice walking lead by Ian Kinsler. Syndergaard never stopped him. He got a huge jump and he stole that base rather easily.
Number 11 for Kinsler. Tigers have a man in scoring position now with 1 out. Cabrera on the homestand, 10 for 24. He has turned it up and batting .308 now. Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on Miguel.
Yeah, Miguel got a good fastball to hit there at 97. He tried to inside out into right center field, as he does against most hard throwers, but he fouled it straight back. That's another issue that Syndergaard has, Mario. It's a lot like what Justin Verlander has had throughout his major league career. They foul a lot of pitches off when he is on the mound. A lot of pitches.
Yeah, JV goes through that quite a bit. There goes a runner to third with no throw. He'll steal it easily. Another running lead for Kinsler, and he swiped that one clean.
It almost looks like Syndergaard really does not pay any attention to the base runners, and another walking lead by Ian Kinsler, and he just takes off and without a throw.
Very smartly, Rivera held on to the baseball. He had no chance.
Anything on the ground right now will score Ian Kinsler, with the exception of hitting it right back at Syndergaard.
Here's the 2-2. And he fought that one off back in the seats.
Oh, get off me, ball. That hurt Mickey's hand.
That thing ricocheted around the seats as well. It got into the seats quickly.
This ball got on Miguel in a hurry. When a guy's throwing 99 to 100 miles an hour, you don't have a whole lot of time as a hitter and to get that bat into the strike zone to barrel that pitch up.
That'll get back out of play, and the pitch count starting to elevate now here in the first inning for Syndergaard.
Syndergaard threw 118 pitches in his last outing against the Colorado Rockies. That was the most pitches that he'd ever thrown in his career, but he only lasted 6 innings.
Which probably gets back to the point that you're talking about, a lot of foul balls. Here are the numbers in that last start. Again, the 2-2, and it's fouled straight back.
A couple of great at-bats today already here in the first inning by Ian Kinsler and now Miguel Cabrera. Already 6 foul balls against Syndergaard in the 17 pitches thrown.
Syndergaard will not often beat himself with walks. He will challenge you. And a little chopper hit toward third. Nice scoop there by the third baseman Johnson to get the out, but the run will score. So the 2 stolen bases by Kinsler, huge in the inning. And an RBI for Cabrera. We'll bring up Victor Martinez back in the lineup tonight for the Tigers. Here's the Bernstein advantage, the pitcher-batter matchup, and for Victor Martinez this season, 300 batting average. Overall, interleague, well, the number is really good. He'll pull this one on the ground at first base, fielded there by Loney, and Syndergaard covers for the out. Tigers score first, RBI by Cabrera. Nothing over the Mets as we go to the top of the second. Jay Bruce getting set to lead things off. Menards brings you the big money encounter. These two teams, look at the season, or I should say the overall all-time series. The Tigers have won 10 of the 18. First time they have been here, the Mets, since 2011.
Tigers have been one of the best teams in all of baseball in interleague play since it was implemented by Bud Selig.
Here is the newly acquired Jay Bruce, who leads the National League in RBIs with 83. They play him to pull on the infield, and Verlander goes to work. It's skied foul back out of play.
Bruce had 83 RBIs on a bad Cincinnati Reds team.
Imagine that. He has really had a terrific series and season, I should say. There's the shift they play.
He gets shifted on as much as any player in baseball, and usually hits it right into the teeth of the defense when on the ground.
Trying to go the other way again, fouled it back out of play, and the count is 0-2.
But Bruce has got some tremendous power, and he's the one guy, Mario, the last probably, what, 3 years, he was always been on the trading block, but finally traded this season.
Yeah, he should have been traded 2 years ago by all the talk that was going around.
Right.
Then last year as well. Now finally this year he comes to the Mets, who sorely need his bat with all the injuries they've had. That's drilled to right field on a line. It's going to drop right in front of J.D. Martinez.
And that wasn't the pitch that Verlander wanted to make there to Jay Bruce. Not after he got ahead of him 0-2. When a pitcher gets ahead of you 0-2, he does not want to give up hard contact like this. It's a four-seam fastball that's up that leaked right back into the happy zone of Bruce, and he turned on it.
Here is James Loney.
He has actually been one of their better hitters the last few weeks. James Loney, good contact hitter, not a whole lot of power, but usually puts the ball in play.
Broke in with the Dodgers. We saw him in the American League with the Rays the last couple of years. And he'll look at a ball low, 1-0. Loney has hit safely in his last 4. Mets as a team really don't swing it all that well. They are last in the National League in average at .238, but they will hit some home runs. They are among the league leaders in that category.
You know what they say.
Chicks dig the long ball.
Chicks dig the long ball. Have you seen their wrist numbers are really poor too.
Yeah. Runners in scoring position awfully low. Bruce is chased back.
Well, that's what you're talking about right there. 52% of their total runs scored via the home run ball. They don't steal any bases. That much we do know.
Here's another base hit. This one to right field. Bruce hits the bag at second. He'll stop there. And now the Mets have something going here in the second inning. Back-to-back singles. It'll bring up Kelly Johnson. Verlander had a 7-pitch 1-2-3 first. A couple of base hits here in the second.
And up until this point, Kelly Johnson has had no success against Justin Verlander in his major league career. He is a combined 0 for 14 against JV. And JV looking for a ground ball here. Mets team usually doesn't sacrifice bunt. Not a Terry Collins team.
No balls, 1 strike. Yikes. There you have it. Not a good matchup for Mr. Johnson. 5 homers this year, 17 driven in. 2 on, nobody out. Tigers on top, 1-0. The 0-1 floats outside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Johnson.
That's something else that Verlander has been doing with his breaking ball against the left-handed batters. He tries to wrap it around the plate to get the strike called on the outside part of the plate, but this time did not get the call from Ryan Blackie, the home plate umpire. He will also throw that same breaking ball on the inner third of home plate.
One and two.
That curveball, that bender, and it landed in McCann's glove softly.
Johnson's been around. He's been with quite a few different teams, both in the National League and the American League. Pulls that one foul down the first base line.
He used to be a second baseman by trade earlier in his career, but now he's pretty much a platoon guy. He plays all over the infield with the exception of shortstop, and he also plays some outfield. He's got a nice bat.
Yeah, he's got a little thunder in that bat too. It was just a couple of years ago that he hit 26 home runs for the Diamondbacks.
I think they were the Fighting Gibbies at that time.
Fighting Gibbies, that's right. The 1-2 popped up foul back out of play. But he's been with a lot of different ball clubs. We certainly remember him with Toronto. He's been with New York, Boston, Baltimore.
Have bat, will travel.
Yeah, one of those guys that I think is somewhat attractive at the trading deadline because he can do some things. He can play some positions.
Give you a quality bat. He doesn't have to play every single day. It's a lot like the Tigers' Andrew Romine, but he has more power than Andrew.
Missed it high, and Johnson would not offer. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That last fastball, maybe not that high, but that's the one pitch that has really elevated Verlander's game the last couple of months. Now the fastball about 95, right around the belt buckle, that appears to have another gear and when it gets into the hitting zone. Lots of swings and misses on the Verlander fastball this year.
JV, a long look at the catcher McCann, and so Johnson will step out. Much different pace to this inning as opposed to the 7-pitch first. Justin came into this game in quite a streak. 2 earned runs or fewer in 6 consecutive starts, including his last one, which was dynamite against the Astros. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Johnson is out of there. 1 gone.
And told you that Terry Collins, the manager of the Mets, has 7 left-handed bats in his order. But this is what Justin Verlander does to lefties. He carves them up with a mixture of real good breaking balls. We've seen that good breaking ball already here today. Overpowering fastballs in the mid to upper 90s. He's also got that changeup, he's got that cutter and a slider. And when you add up all 5 of those pitches, depending on which one is working well for him that night, he has carved up left-handed bats.
Well, you talk about a 5-pitch mix. That is a lot for a hitter to consider.
When Verlander's on, he can dominate. Look at that slow breaking ball. And that appears to be the pitch of choice, at least for the first 2 innings thrown by Verlander to all the left-handers. Lots of curveballs.
203 against lefties, and righties aren't faring too much better. 225. Brandon Nimmo is the batter. Yet another left-handed bat in the lineup for Terry Collins. And a strike called, and now 0-2 on Nimmo. 250 average, been up and down between the big leagues and AAA this year. Nimmo is batting .389 with their AAA team. Leadoff singles by Bruce and Loney. Here's the 0-2. Just off the plate. Nimmo thought about it, but would not offer.
And Verlander can go a couple of different ways now. He can simply throw Nimmo that 95-mile-per-hour fastball right around the belt buckle to see if he'll chase that one. He's tried to work the back door with that curveball all day.
And that one could have been called a strike just off the plate. 1-2 on Nimmo. Outfield straight, so is the infield. Missed it inside. Way inside. 2-2. Nimmo is from Wyoming and became the first ever first-round pick out of the state of Wyoming. First rounder in 2011 for the Mets. Wyoming not really a hotbed for baseball.
No, not at all.
The 2-2 is swung on and fouled off. Barely staying alive. Tigers got a run in the first. Single by Kinsler. He stole 2 bases, scored on the 1-out ground out by Cabrera. Fouled away.
Well, it looks like the Metropolitans are going to foul off quite a few of Verlander's offerings here this evening, too. At least that's what it looks like. Verlander's thrown 25 pitches, and he has hit the strike zone with 19 of those. So he's brought that really great command with him so far this evening.
Tigers had their 8-game winning streak snapped yesterday by the White Sox.
Some of the younger Mets pitchers, Matz, DeGrom, sitting on the top step watching Justin Verlander. They don't get a chance to see him very often.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. JV comes back with a couple of punch outs.
I love what Verlander's doing to the left-handers. He's throwing them breaking balls early in counts, and then they start looking for that breaking ball. And then with that high 3/4 arm slot, that fastball stays on the same plane from the time it leaves Verlander's hand until the time it gets into McCann's glove. Man, is he getting a lot of swings and misses on that pitch.
Rene Rivera now with 2 outs.
This is what Verlander used to do back in the day, Mario. When runners would get on base, he would simply just bow his neck and get dominant and just overpower the opposition.
He would dial it up, and you would get a leadoff double, and you really just wouldn't even panic because you knew he would step it up. Now he's trying to strand a couple of runners here in the second. Rivera stands in. Ooh, Bender there, and it gets away from McCann. That'll advance the runners. Don't often see a swing and a miss result with the ball going to the backstop.
It's another curveball. Well, McCann got crossed up.
Yeah,
he was looking for a fastball. And that's odd because Bruce has been out at second base for, what, 2 batters? And maybe 15 pitches or so?
At least.
So that means that they've been going with the same signals and sequences for quite some time.
Pass ball ruled for McCann, so now a base hit could get a couple of runs for the Mets. Quick chat between McCann and Verlander. Rivera, 225 hitter. Way up, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And that was the first slider that Verlander has thrown here so far tonight, and he left that one in an area that was up and in the strike zone.
Here's what you were talking about earlier. The Mets at 207 team average, 207 with runners in scoring position.
That's not going to get it done.
No, I mean, they've gone through stretches this year where it has been really difficult to score runs. That's in there, a strike called at 94. Fastball from Verlander, 1-2.
Just about every fastball that Verlander has thrown so far has been 94. He's already thrown a couple at 96.
Rivera, occasional power. He has 4 home runs. His value to the Mets has been his abilities defensively. And a line drive to right, chasing Martinez back. JD gets there, and the threat is over. No runs. A pair of leadoff singles are stranded. Bottom of the second, JD Martinez getting set to lead things off. Time now for the home field advantage, brought to you by Lowe's. Let's see what we have here tonight. JD Martinez this season, look at his numbers right at home.
Well, nearly 100 points higher as far as the batting average at the crib. Lots of home runs per at bats, and the OPS is over 1,000. So JD Martinez has done real nice work right here at Comerica Park.
Syndergaard goes back to work. And he'll deliver a strike to JD, 0-1.
First curveball we've seen Syndergaard throw here, 81 miles an hour. His curveball pretty much is his changeup, because his changeup is at 90 miles an hour.
JD swings and misses, awkward swinging out, 0-2.
And Syndergaard has thrown 21 pitches so far tonight, and 15 of those have registered 95 and above on the radar gun.
Not a shock. The 0-2. JD took that one right out of the glove of Rivera.
He just looks the part, doesn't he, Mario?
He really does. I mean, he's got that little bit of a look to him that can be intimidating.
Some edge.
Syndergaard is only 23 years old. Yank foul.
Yeah, he'll be 24 in about 3 weeks. So he's really young.
Well, he's an example of how some teams will give up prime prospects to make themselves better. He went to the Mets from the Blue Jays in the R.A. Dickey deal a couple of years ago in 2012. And you really don't know how guys are going to turn out when they're in the minor leagues, but this guy's turned out to be a pretty good one in the major leagues.
He's got a real nice, simple delivery. It's almost like he's in the stretch. One little step back, not a real high leg kick, and that front leg, man, just real firm once it hits that mound.
In the air toward the left side of the infield. That'll be the shortstop Reynolds to go back there and get it. One gone. We'll bring up Nick Castellanos. Castellanos at 289 with 18 home runs. That is a career high for Nicholas.
Not a lot of shifting done for the New York Mets. I mean, we'll watch the next 3 days, and Terry Collins will not shift as much as we've seen some of the other teams that have been here in Comerica Park. Teams we've seen, the Houston Astros. I mean, they're pretty much playing Castellanos straight up, and they pretty much play everybody straight up.
You know, it's really interesting to see in today's baseball the varying, well, all in, I suppose, of some teams on the shifting. Some teams are all in, like the Houston Astros. Literally, they will shift pitch by pitch. And then you've got the Mets, the Tigers, some other teams that are, well, they've got their big toe in the water, but nothing major.
Yeah, Cubs don't do that much of it. The Miami Marlins don't do that much of it.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think some of your older school managers, they like it. And, of course, they have a front office that's analytical like every front office, but they don't buy into it as much. Take a look at the fewest shifts employed. Miami, Cubs, Mets, Tigers, Kansas City. Most of those guys have veteran managers with the exception of our manager.
Swing and a miss, and Castellanos out on strikes. Syndergaard has his first strikeout of the night. 2 gone. Hey, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites. Now being served all day. What do you got, Rod?
Today, it's a tough assignment today. Let me think here.
While you think, I'll tell the folks that I'm going with Verlander.
I'm going Iglesias today. Ooh. Yeah, it's got to be one of these table setters today that's going to come up with the big blow, in my opinion, against Syndergaard, because he throws so hard.
Good call. You notice I went on the limb by choosing Verlander.
No, that's all good. That is all good.
Jay Up stands in and grounds one foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. We mentioned that Upton is one of the few Tigers that has seen Syndergaard, and not much success. 0 for 6.
Syndergaard is a tough assignment. 100-mile-per-hour fastball, good slider, a good changeup, and a curveball. He's got 4 above-average pitches.
Upton looks at a strike.
You just can't hit that. At 98, where that ball was thrown, you just can't hit it. It's like a blur. Look at that 4-seam fastball.
Now the 1-2. Fouled back out of play. Another heater. That one at 99 from Syndergaard. Could you imagine facing this guy in high school?
Could not even fathom it.
This dude threw 2 no-hitters in high school, and I would think it would have been a lot more than that. But here's the 1-2, up and in, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I bet you had some kids in high school just downright refused to play when Syndergaard was on the mound.
What about the story with Verlander when he was a kid?
And literally
crying.
Yeah, kids start crying. They didn't want to face him.
He throws too hard. 2-2 on Upton. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Syndergaard with a 1-2-3 second. A couple of punch outs along the way. 2 in the books here at Comerica Park. It's still 1-0 Tigers. Yeah, guys, he definitely was one of the better players in the game. What, 14 years in the major leagues, and well, you figured the injuries eventually would catch up to him, I think, right?
Yeah, he was an RBI machine. He was a great two-way player. He was a real good teammate. We had a real nice conversation earlier in the year talking about some of the switch hitters in our sport, and we covered him. We covered Beltran. We also covered our very own Victor Martinez when we did that piece. So Teixeira will be missed. He was a real good player.
Matt Reynolds leading it off, and then Curtis Granderson and Alejandro De Aza against Justin Verlander, who did a terrific job in the second. Gave up back-to-back singles and then went to work, got a couple of strikeouts and a flyout. Tigers on top 1-0. And JV breaks off a breaking ball low and away, 2-2.
And Justin throwing a lot of strikes, as I told you earlier. He is 7 of 9 already in the contest in first pitch strikes, which allows you, once you get ahead, and then you can pretty much expand the strike zone and see if you can get the hitters to chase, and that's what he's been able to do.
Reynolds waits on a 2-2, and he got him, strike 3.
Slide piece.
Reynolds thought it might have been up a little bit, but not so, says Ryan Blackney. 1 out. Time now for T-Mobile's greater coverage of baseball. Just heard Mark Teixeira announcing his retirement at the end of the season. Ichiro Rod's still looking for 3,000.
He has been sitting on 2,998 for what, about 6-7 days now?
It seems like 2 months.
I don't know what it is when guys get close to those milestones, man, but it takes a while for guys to get it. They just start to press a little bit. They understand what's coming, and for whatever reason, we've seen this in the past, guys looking for 300, 3,000 hits or 500 home runs. It takes a while before they finally accomplish it.
Well, Ichiro can still run a little bit, man. Dropped down a bunt.
Yeah, he's 40 years old. He can do that.
0-1 on Granderson.
I've loved his game for sure.
Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Here's that cut fastball. He still calls it a slider, but for me, it's more like a cutter. Look at how late this thing breaks. It's in the zone, all of a sudden it disappears. That's more like a cutter to me than a slider.
Whistled foul down the right field line.
And Curtis Granderson always looking for them fastballs. You can't sneak a fastball by Curtis.
Granderson flying to left field to start the ball game. He spent 6 years as a Detroit Tiger, and he was an outstanding player, was an outstanding person in the community, and just a joy to be around. Waiting on the 0-2 from Verlander. Here it is. Fought it off. 1-2, the count stays.
And speaking of Granderson, man, and what he did in the community, Mario, he's still active in our community. Tomorrow, along with Cameron Maven, here in the downtown area, they're going to put on a camp for some of the kids. And I'm going to be there. Craig Monroe's going to be there as well. So Curtis Granderson still giving back to the city of Detroit.
That's great. Here's the 0-2 again. And he missed it up and in, 1-2.
And camp's going to be at William Clay Ford Field. And for anybody that might have any interest in coming out and learning a little baseball tomorrow morning.
What time is that?
I think it starts at 9 o'clock. 9:30 is camp registration. William Clay Ford Field, downtown Michigan.
Tried to hold up, couldn't do it. Down he goes. Ooh, JV's racking him up now. That is 4 strikeouts.
And he's getting it done in a variety of different ways. He's either getting it done with the four-seam fastball, or he's getting it done with his really good curveball, or on occasion, he'll get it done with that slider.
Two gone now for Alejandro De Aza. Off the outer edge, 1-0.
You're almost shocked these days when Justin Verlander does not throw a first pitch strike.
Justin in his last start recorded his 5th double-digit strikeout game this year, and he had a season-high 11 in his last start against the Houston Astros. He's absolutely dominant. He's gone deep into games, which the Tigers at times this year have needed for their bullpen. That's fouled back out of play, and it always gets back to what you talk about many times, Rod. You know that when you got JV coming up, that you might be able to go to the bullpen a little bit more the night before. And certainly the day after, because he will have gone deep into the game.
Yes, he is one of those guys that rests the bullpen for sure, and he's done it for a number of years.
And there's a lot of value to that. Now De Asa steps out. Justin has gone into the 7th inning in 13 of his last 16 starts. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Look out, JP.
Justin strikes out the side. He's got 5 of them in the ball game. Reynolds, Granderson, De Asa. Have a sit down.
Straight nasty here tonight.
One to nothing heading into the bottom of the 3rd inning. We knew coming into today it would be a phenomenal pitching matchup between Noah Syndergaard and Justin Verlander, and it's lived up to it. Verlander wiggled out a little trouble there in the 2nd. He's got 3 Ks or 5 Ks through 3 innings. Syndergaard, obviously with the highest velocity fastball in the major leagues. His manager, Terry Collins, says these 2 guys cut from the same cloth.
They're both big power guys with power breaking balls. You know, Justin, obviously a big strikeout guy. We're trying to get Noah to be a little bit more of a pitch to contact guy. Even with his power stuff, they're hard to hit.
Right, and of course Verlander, you know, has got 10 years on Syndergaard. Hard to believe that. He may not be able to light up the radar gun quite as much, but certainly he's getting a lot of swings and misses, which Rod called earlier today.
He did, Johnny, and you know, Ron, I was impressed with the way the Tigers kind of manufactured a run. They got a base hit early, but Kinsler stole a couple of bags, and it might be plays like that that win this game tonight. That might be the run of the game right there, the way that Verlander is pitching, because it looks like Syndergaard is not going to give up much more himself. I love what Terry Collins said there as manager. Yes, he throws 100 miles an hour, but as we pointed out, in his last 4 or 5 outings for Syndergaard, 100 pitches in 6 innings. They'd like to see him go deeper in games. They'd like to see him not go for strikeouts as much, go for more contact, because he's still hard to hit. Even if he's throwing the ball over the plate, then he could last longer in games, and he could be that guy like Verlander, Mario, that saves the bullpen on nights when he pitches. Right. He should be that guy. Yeah, but 118 over 6 innings in his last start, that does speak volumes. It's a lot of pitches. Now, he will not walk guys. In fact, his strikeout to walk ratio is 6-to-1, which is really good. He has thrown 40 so far in this game. 28 strikes. 12 foul balls already of 40 pitches Syndergaard has thrown. The Tigers have fouled off 12 of those.
We told you we'd watch that closely because he's a guy that teams foul a lot of pitches off against.
3-2, and McCann rolls it foul.
That young man got himself a foul ball. He is cheesing from ear to ear, isn't he, Mario?
He needs to have it autographed.
Yeah.
Proudly wearing the Old English tee. Got a nice crowd here tonight. Friday night, Syndergaard, Verlander. A couple of teams in the playoff chase in their respective leagues. Here's the 3-2 again. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Let's take a look at Justin Verlander and Noah Syndergaard through their first 45 games in the big leagues. Verlander's was all starts. Syndergaard had one relief appearance. And the record goes to Justin Verlander. Quality starts about even. Take a look at the ERA. Syndergaard a bit better there. And look at the strikeouts for Syndergaard. And we thought Verlander was a power pitcher when he came up that year.
What does that speak volume?
Man, oh man. Two really talented kids, but that was their first 45 games of their major league career comparison.
0-1 on Jose Iglesias. Syndergaard now is retired. 7 straight. Little chopper back up the middle. Syndergaard gonna have to rush it, and they'll get him by a step. 2 gone.
Mario, we were talking about Ian Kinsler and how he set the tone for the game. It's our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. It was a lengthy at bat. I mean, Syndergaard threw him everything but the kitchen sink, and finally Ian Kinsler shortened up that swing and that stroke, and he barreled one up and he whistled it right back through the box on the 8th pitch. And then he stole 2nd and 3rd.
Not before he threw the goggles on.
Well, you got to throw them goggles on, man.
Whenever you take 97 straight up, man, he just drilled that thing to center field. It's like it was nothing. And Ian looks at a strike. Kinsler now has hit safely in 4 straight. He is on pace this year for 31 home runs. And if he gets there, it'll be the 3rd time in his career he has reached 30. Hit on his hands that time, yank foul. 0-2. Verlander, after giving up a couple of hits in the 2nd, has really settled in. The 0-2. Sliced the other way, base hit. It's another multi-hit game for Kinsler. What a piece of hitting there. 2 for 2.
Ian Kinsler has had a really good swing so far here tonight against Syndergaard in his 2 plate appearances. Take a look at the shoulder, the back shoulder. Usually he really drops that back shoulder, but not so much here. Gets down and gets that ball and slices it the opposite way. Nice job by Ian. If you're Syndergaard, you know he's going to steal 2nd base again.
And his move is what it is. And I guess you really can't speed the move up, so you try some other things, I suppose, to try and slow him down.
Well, I'm surprised he hasn't really adopted what some of the other guys that we've known in the past that have had difficult times holding runners close. You just hold the ball a little bit longer while on your mound, and while on the mound, and Ian Kinsler doesn't get that running jump.
So that's back-to-back now that he's gone to first base. Tyler Collins flied to left field in the 1st inning. Again, a line drive to left, and it's going to be caught by Nimmo, and that'll end the inning. No runs, 2 out, single stranded. We go to the 4th.
Tough trip.
Well, I think the Indians right now, we're going to find out how good they really are and how good that starting staff is because, well, they got Salazar in the DL now, Rod, and a couple of other guys are starting to show a little bit of cracks in the armor.
They've only won one game since they acquired Andrew Miller from the New York Yankees. And in order for Terry Francona to get to Miller, he had to pitch him in the 6th inning yesterday.
Yeah.
And he pitched him 2 innings. But they got the win, though.
Well, and I like that.
I love that.
You know, I
love that.
Sometimes we just pigeonhole guys into the final inning, and by that time the game could be lost.
Terry Francona went to go get him in the 6th inning.
Neil Walker leads it off as we go to the 4th here. 1-0. Tigers have the lead. And Walker cuts and misses 0-2.
His arsenal, I'm talking about Justin Verlander, his skill set is superior. He is pitching as well these days as he did back when he was winning the Cy Young and the MVP that year. Yes, the velocity down just a tick, but the secondary stuff is as good. There's that changeup. He hasn't thrown many changeups today. He's used the curveball mostly to the left-handed batters, but the left-handers and batters overall, Mario, only hitting about 100 against the Verlander changeup this year.
You know, when you have powered pitchers that go through spells of losing their ability to throw in the upper 90s. 1-2 is low, 2-2. You wonder if they can adapt. And Justin's secondary stuff was so good that you had to believe that, yeah, he could still get by even if he doesn't throw triple digits.
That's a great point. It took him about a year really to kind of figure out what kind of pitcher he was going to be. But once he figured it out again, he has become one of the top right-handers in our sport.
Here's the 2-2. Walker fouls it off.
To give you an idea of how Verlander adjusts from start to start, in his last outing, he threw a lot of fastballs at the Houston Astros. In this particular outing, because they've got so many left-handers, he's only thrown 45% fastball, 55% off-speed stuff so far through the first 3 innings.
Walker in his days with the Pirates would torch Tigers pitching. In fact, he's pretty good here at Comerica. He sits safely in 7 straight in this ballpark, but against the Tigers career .337. Oh man, look at that pitch. All Walker can do is turn around, head back to the bench.
And Verlander does not use the seams when he throws his curveball. It's a seamless curveball. And for him to get this kind of action on a pitch where he doesn't use seams is still mind-boggling to a lot of people. Usually you use those seams to help you create the break and the depth on your breaking balls, but he doesn't use them.
Jay Bruce had a base hit his first time up. Strike 1 on the outside corner.
He might just be able to tell him that curveball's coming today, and they might not be able to hit it. He's thrown so many.
Here's the shift that the Tigers employ against Bruce.
Verlander quietly has struck out 4 batters in a row.
6 total. Another bullet down the right field line, but foul. Broke his bat. Verlander and Syndergaard tonight have combined for 9 strikeouts and no walks.
And that is rare for guys that throw as hard as they do to not give away free passes.
Well, that streak continues. 5 strikeouts, 17th consecutive start with at least 5 strikeouts, which is longest among actives. 5th longest among actives. He's looking good tonight. Gave up the singles to Bruce and Loney in the 2nd, but then picked up 2 strikeouts and has been cruising since. The 0-2 to Bruce. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jay Bruce's 3rd All-Star game this year. Was hitting .311, which was well above his career average with the Reds, but the home run numbers, he's always had those. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that ballpark that Bruce spent the the majority or all of his major league career in Cincinnati, Great American Ballpark. It yields a lot of home runs, but this guy can hit him out of anywhere. He has got that kind of power.
Here's the 2-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Bruce.
If you're Bruce in this particular situation, you have no idea what the next pitch is going to be, because Justin's been able to command all 5 of them so far this evening. But from a hitter standpoint, you have to simply look for your fastball and adjust to everything else. You can't look for anything soft.
Time call now as Bruce steps out.
McCann went changeup, then he went curveball, then he went fastball in, fastball away. Justin didn't want any of those.
Walked him. 1 out, base on balls. Here's the Chevy Silverado. Most dependable players will go with Justin Verlander in interleague play, and when you rack up his numbers against some of the other really good pitchers that have done well in interleague play, it's no contest.
How about Chris Young? 12-4 on that list with Burley and Kershaw and Justin Verlander.
Kind of a wild card, isn't he?
Yeah. He's the one that don't really fit on there, but give him some credit. He's doing what he does.
26-4 in interleague play for Justin. There's James Loney.
And Verlander has thrown some of his most memorable games against the senior circuit. A no-hitter against Milwaukee. A near no-hitter against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, he's looked awfully good here tonight, surrendering just 2 hits to this point. Loney hammers one to center field, right at Tyler Collins. 2 gone. By the way, you know what's coming up tomorrow? Fiesta Tigres.
Fiesta Tigres.
And the Tigers battle the Mets at 7:10 p.m. And the first 10,000 fans 21 and older get a free Maglio Ordonez ALCS figurine. Visit Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER.
I like the way you rolled those R's. Fiesta Tigres.
Tigres. A couple of Spanish lessons.
Your Espanol is getting pretty good.
Well, I haven't used it since college, so it's fading fast. Here is Kelly Johnson. You had to learn some Spanish in your days playing winterball.
Oh, absolutely. Playing down in Mexico, playing in Dominican, Puerto Rico. I learned some Spanish for sure.
Learn any bad words?
Quite a few.
Well, don't share them.
You always learn those first.
It's another toss back to the bag. Bruce back in there. Jay Bruce a walk at first base. There haven't been many base runners in this game for either side. And another throw.
If you're wondering, Bruce has 4 steals in 6 attempts. But Justin Verlander keeping him awfully close.
That ball belted to right field, way back, and it's going to go. It's a 2-run homer for Kelly Johnson, and the Mets have taken the lead.
We were talking about Kelly Johnson being a professional hitter, and I also pointed out the fact that Justin Verlander had thrown a lot of curveballs to all these left-handed batters. So a veteran hitter like Kelly Johnson will simply go to the plate, and he will sit on 1 pitch, which was the curveball, and he got the curveball and he absolutely killed it. He is sitting curveball all the way.
Kelly Johnson was 0 for 15 against Verlander in his career before that at bat. His 6th home run of the year, and the Mets have their first lead. They'll bring up Brandon Nimmo. Ball 1 high. Johnson homer number 6, RBIs 18 and 19. Nimmo chops one back to the mound. JV will handle it, and he'll toss to Cabrera to end the inning. Now before the Mets take their first lead on the Johnson home run.
Boys, big play of the game. Well, Miguel Cabrera, in his last 19 games since the All-Star break, he's had his big boy pants on. Hitting nearly 400 with 7 homers, 17 driven in, OPS over 1,200 from Miguel Cabrera, who on nights just kind of carries his team. This piece that we just showed you, he hit every pitch, up, down, in, out, left-handers, soft tossers, you name it. He hits everybody.
Well, he's got an RBI tonight with a ground out. He'll look at a strike from Syndergaard. And Noah pitching with the lead now for the first time tonight. It'll be Cabrera, Martinez. Syndergaard has given up just a couple of hits in this game. Miggy hammers that one to right field, slicing foul.
That is what Miguel Cabrera will try to do with the upper 90s fastball that Syndergaard features. He will not try to pull that ball. Miggy will hit the ball to right center field or right field, and by the bat angle that he creates.
The 0-2. Cabrera now 71 RBIs. Which gives him 18 driven in his last 15 games, which goes along to that video piece we showed you there on Cabrera and how hot he has been. The 1-2 in on his hands. He'll line it to left, base hit. Nimmo is over to the plate, a leadoff single for Cabrera.
He's got tremendous bat range. This is a breaking ball. It's at 90 miles an hour, 89 miles an hour. Actually, it's a changeup, and it's running in on the hands of Miguel, and somehow, some way, he's able to pull his hands in and then pull this ball and get a base hit.
Bring up Victor Martinez. Tigers have picked up their third hit of the night. Femart with a ground out, 0 for 1.
Yeah, Victor swung at the first pitch his first time up today. Talked about Verlander being very good today in first pitch strikes. Syndergaard is also very good. He is 9 of 13.
Mets have the shift on, but not playing deeply at second, trying to get a double play ball here from Martinez. Instead, he belts one in the air, deep to right, way back, and gone. Victor Martinez has just given the Tigers the lead again. he got all of it.
And then some.
Number 19 for Victor.
Victor Martinez had the day off yesterday, and he came back with those fresh legs here tonight. And Syndergaard, as soon as he let that ball go, he knew it was gone. And Victor Martinez, when he's looking for a heater inside, he can turn on the best fastballs in baseball. That thing got up on that right field seats by a pretty good distance, too.
416 feet on that home run. That lead didn't last long for the Mets. 3-2, Tigers have the lead. JD fouls it away, 0-2. That's 216. Tigers on pace for that. They've been hitting the long ball. Both of these teams live on the long ball. Here's the 0-2 and drilled to right field. That ball hit well. Bruce going back. He turns off the wall. JD's on his way to second. There might be a play. The throw. He is safe. It's a double for Martinez.
That's a great hustling double by JD Martinez, because this ball is absolutely whistled off the gate, that 385 sign in right field, and Bruce has a very good throwing arm. It's a four-seam fastball. JD Martinez kills this ball. It hits off the wall. Bruce picks it up and fires a strike into second base, but JD was thinking double out of that batter's box, and that's what allowed him to get there safely.
Man, that was close.
JD almost slid too late.
And
Victor was telling it to get up.
So now the Tigers have a man at second, nobody out. Here's Castellanos. And Nick looks at a ball that bounces in, 1-0.
If you're Castellanos, you have to do everything that you can possibly do here to try to hit something to the right side of the infield to get JD Martinez over to third base with no outs. This direction, so he can get here. Because Syndergaard's not going to give up a whole lot. I mean, they've got 3 against him, but you still have to play the game the right way.
Single homer double for the Tigers here in the 4th. Ooh, big swing there, 1-1.
It looked like to me Castellanos was trying to hit it out of the ballpark.
I agree with you. Not the old let me advance the base runner swing there.
That's what I'm looking for right now.
And it's a point well taken, because yes, the Tigers have gotten a couple against him here, but this cat settles in. Every run counts. Now the 1-1. 2-1 the count. Justin Upton waiting on deck. Pitch count up to 60 now on Syndergaard. At one point he retired 8 straight. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
It's a 90-mile-per-hour changeup thrown by Syndergaard. It's a circle change. And he buries it at the bottom of the strike zone just enough to keep Castellanos off balance.
Syndergaard, like Verlander, had a good month of July. He came in with a 2.45 ERA last month. Justin, meanwhile, was the pitcher of the month of the American League. 3-2 now on Castellanos. Still nobody out. 2 runs in here in the 4th for the Tigers. Nick struck out his first time up. Waiting on a 3-2. We just got a piece of that one staying alive.
And you can see just about every single pitch that Syndergaard has thrown to Castellanos here, 6 of them. Most of them have been inside, and the reason for that is that runners on second base, Syndergaard has an idea that Castellanos is trying to hit something to right field, so therefore he pitches him aggressively inside to try to prevent him from doing so.
Chop the third foul.
When I asked folks in the truck to keep track of the foul balls, I didn't think he would be at 18 right now. 18 already in 64 pitches. I heard coming in, though, that's why his pitch count is always elevated, because opposing teams always foul off everything he throws.
Nick will step out. 3-2 the count. Outfield a little bit the other way on Castellanos. And again the 3-2. Driven down the right field line. That's going to slice though and hit foul. What Dave Clark here, Rod? Look where he's positioned at third base.
I do see that, but he feels like he's safe right now though, because Syndergaard throws so hard. You know, very seldom is any right-hander going to turn on 98, 99. So Clark, he probably feels like he's pretty safe right now. But he is awfully close.
He's awfully close, but it gives him a better shot at deciding whether or not to send Martinez.
Oh,
correct?
for sure. Absolutely.
Here's the 9th pitch in this at bat coming up. And another foul back to the screen. Well, this is one of his better stats. 341 with runners in scoring position this year.
This has turned into a terrific at-bat. And for Castellanos.
Tigers got a base hit from Cabrera, 2-run homer from Victor, and then a double the other way by J.D. Martinez. And he lost it, ball 4. What an at-bat there by Castellanos. Well, we have a chance here. We check in now with Johnny Kane.
All right, guys, well, as the story goes, Noah Syndergaard almost didn't become a baseball player had it not been for the wisdom of his mother, Heidi. Noah, all he wanted to do was play soccer from the age of 4 years old. His mom said, why don't you try baseball? He said, I'd rather not. And as moms often do, they said, you're going to play 1 year of baseball. So he, against his will, he said, all right, I'll play 1 year. He got it finished with the first year of baseball. He said, I'm over it, Ma. And his mom said, nope, you're going to continue playing baseball. And the rest, as they say, is history. So listen to your mothers, for crying out loud. So she knew better, and obviously he had a knack for the game.
Well, Syndergaard right now doesn't really have a soccer body, I would say. The guy is 6'6".
Well, I was thinking about that. You know, you talk about Messi and Ronaldo, and then you got Thor. He's got the body type for any professional sport as far as I'm concerned, but I think baseball suits him the best. Maybe not right this particular second because the Tigers are getting after him, but I think his mom knew from a very early age, because that's what moms do. They just know these things.
Well, he's got the Thor glove tonight stitched on there. Thanks, Johnny. The Tigers now have 2 on here. Nobody out is Upton shows bunt.
As good as Syndergaard is, the Tigers have had some really good plate appearances against him. Miguel's first at-bat was a really good at-bat against him. Miguel had a base hit as well, second time up. Kinsler had a really good at-bat. That at-bat right there by Castellanos. And, of course, J.D. Martinez with the hustling double.
Now he's gone 2-0.
We'll see if Justin Upton can turn on this 97-mile-per-hour heater. He's going to get one. Miguel over there chilling by himself. Legs crossed.
Like he's watching TV.
Kicking it.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. And he got a pitch that he could handle, but fouled it back out of play, and the count now 2-1.
He threw him a breaking ball here. Did not throw him a fastball, threw him a breaking ball, and kind of tied Justin Upton up.
First 4 have reached for the Tigers here in the 4th. Homer by Martinez. With the Tigers on top. Jay up swings and misses.
He has already thrown 23 pitches in this inning, and he has not recorded an out yet. And so it's looking like he's going to be up to at least 30, 35 before he gets out of this.
You already talked about the fact that he threw 118 in his last start, which was a career high. All the way up to 71 now in this game. Off the plate. 3-2 on Upton. James McCann waiting on deck. Now Syndergaard with the 3-2. Bouncing ball to second. Should be 2. There's 1. And there's 2. It's a 4-6-3. Advance the runner to third, and there are 2 gone. Always have the option there of starting the runners, but that's a high risk there with the strikeout possibility.
Especially with Syndergaard on the mound, and the guy's averaging 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. So it's tough to start runners, especially if you don't have true base stealers.
Bring up McCann now with 2 outs. James a strikeout victim in the 3rd. 3-2. Tigers have the lead. The home run by Victor Martinez the difference.
You know the one thing that McCann did a couple times last year that we haven't seen him do this year? Bunt for a base hit down that 3rd base line with 2 outs. He did that about 2 or 3 times last year. Just dropped out a little bunt down the 3rd base line and get himself a base hit. I mean, you don't see it very often, but if he was to go right in that area right there.
Now the 0-1. To shallow right field, slicing foul. 0-2 now on McCann. He's had 4 hits on this homestand. Meanwhile, JV now has been given the lead. He was feeling pretty bummed walking off the field after surrendering the 2-run homer to Johnson. But his teammates have gotten it back.
And I'm sure when Justin goes back out there for the 5th inning, he will adjust his pitch sequences because they're starting to look for curveballs now.
Now Syndergaard with the 0-2. Line drive, base hit right field.
Oh, what an at-bat.
An 0-2 single the other way. Score Martinez and make it 4-2 Tigers. A big hit there.
James McCann just dropped his bat into the strike zone on a 99-mile-per-hour fastball and basically allowed Syndergaard to supply all the power. He just dropped the bat in the zone and found a seam on the right side of the infield.
Justin likes it. Got another run to work with. Nice. Goggle time. That is the 6th Tigers hit. Iglesias pops it up and back into the seats.
That is 1, 2, 3, 4 hits in the inning against Syndergaard, and you know he's a guy that really does not give up a lot of hits in any one inning.
Well, the most earned runs he's given up in a start this year is 5. He's already at 4 in this one. Runner goes. Bouncing ball right to the first baseman Loney, who steps on the bag to end the inning. However, the Tigers get a big inning. One mighty swing by Victor Martinez. A 2-run shot. Tigers scored 3 in the 4th. Syndergaard bumming. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Chrysler, enjoy your summer in style with great deals at the Chrysler Summer Clearance Event. And by Kroger. Well, this billed as a good pitching matchup tonight, but the Tigers have gotten to Noah Syndergaard. A 3-run fourth inning. Tigers lead 4-2 now against Thor, as they call him. And Verlander back to the hill. Here is Rivera, the catcher. He swings and misses 0-1. So JV's been given the lead again now. We'll see if he can shut down the Mets here in the fifth. Rivera, Reynolds, and Granderson. Rivera flied out his first at bat to right field. He lifts this one in the air toward right again. JD Martinez under it. One gone. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here's the shortstop, Matt Reynolds. Reynolds looks at a ball high, 1-0. Since the start of the 2006 season, Verlander leads all major league pitchers with 168 wins. Here's the 1-0 offering. And I guess in some ways kind of billed as old school, new school here between Verlander and Syndergaard, only in that Verlander has amassed some pretty big numbers.
For sure. Yeah, but Verlander all of a sudden has found that fountain of youth, and he's pitching. And like a young Justin Verlander back in the day.
Now the 2-0.
The amazing thing about Verlander really is only being on the disabled list one time in his major league career. All the pitches he's thrown, all the innings he's thrown, not only in the major leagues, but high school, college, a lot of innings, a lot of wear and tear on his arm, but his delivery is so pure, it's so clean that there has not been any hiccups as far as the arm is concerned.
Some of that has to be genetics, and maybe some will argue that most of that is genetics, but I agree with you. I think his delivery probably feeds into that as well.
I mean, it's just real simple. One simple step back, he gets to a real nice balanced position. That allows the arm to catch up. That allows the arm to get out front, and that's when he's at his best. It's a great delivery.
Outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes on number 9 hitter Matt Reynolds.
Here's one look at the Verlander delivery, and we're going to slow it down for you. Balance, arm, catch up.
Now the 3-2. Popped up. Heading back to the seats out of play. Right on top of the dugout. Souvenir. Well, Friday night here in the Motor City, the place to be. Big crowd on hand here tonight. A lot of kids as well.
Got the patches on the eyes. Having fun.
And the Tigers have not disappointed to this point. They lead 4-2. And again, the 3-2. Right back to the screen is Matt Reynolds stays alive. Reynolds in his 3rd stint with the big club. He was recalled on August 1st from AAA. 234 hitter down there. Mentioned all the injuries that this Mets team has had, including Reyes and Wright, Duda, Harvey. The 3-2 is swung on it. Miss. He dusted him. 95 upstairs. See you later. 2 up, 2 down. And tomorrow it's a star-studded Major League Baseball showdown on FS1. Big Papi and the Red Sox. swinging for the fences, but Adrian Gonzalez and the Dodgers are on the show. They've got some power as well. Action begins tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Tigers battling right now the Red Sox in the wild card standings. They got a really good shot, it appears, tonight to gain another game on Cleveland. Although the Indians starting to come back a little bit now against the Yankees. 6-3 is that score. Here's Granderson. Ball one. Curtis, a strikeout and a flyout. You're talking about Granderson along with Cameron Maybin doing a clinic tomorrow in the Motor City and giving back to the community. Curtis also gave a lot of money to his alma mater, the University of Illinois Chicago, and built a brand new baseball stadium for them. And it is a really nice ballpark with the backdrop of downtown Chicago. A 1-1 is a fastball high and away.
Curtis gets it, man. He really does. I mean, since he came to the big leagues, he's always wanted to give back. He's a double business major. He did that in 3 years in college. 3 years. So he's obviously a very bright fella.
Here's the 2-1. You know, it's funny, I told this story before, I'll tell it again. When Curtis was a rookie, I remember sitting next to him on the team plane, and Granderson, I guess when you're a rookie, you got to sit next to the media.
Yeah, you do.
And so I pulled up next to Grandy. He had a couple of books that he pulled out of his backpack. One was a business book, the other was an investing book.
He's like, who's this kid?
I knew right away this guy gets it, man. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And it's a strike in the outside corner. Granderson thought he had a walk. 3-2.
He did have a walk.
Yes, he did. He had a point. New life for Verlander, the 3-2. Popped him up. It's in a mile high first base side. Cabrera. And that's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. Nothing doing in the fifth. For the Mets, Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
Of the game, Ian Kinsler got it started for the Tigers in the first inning, single up the middle. He stole second, then he stole third, and then he came home on a Miguel ground out to third base. So Ian Kinsler basically manufactured that run by himself in the first inning with a little bit of help from Miguel Cabrera and also Syndergaard, because he was paying no attention to Ian Kinsler as he stole those 2 bases in the first inning.
Literally, it's just as if he was saying, it doesn't matter, I'm going to get the hitter anyway. There's a strike call, but once Kinsler took third, Miguel had an easy shot at driving in the run.
I think Syndergaard has finally understood that the Tigers can hit his fastball. And that last half inning, 4 fastballs, base hits off of Syndergaard.
Yep, there's another example. Bender drops in 0-2.
So he's gone to a couple different breaking balls here to start off Ian Kinsler.
Single run scored for Kinsler, and a swing and a miss. He carved him up that time.
Yeah, he did. He made it look rather easy too.
Be the 4th strikeout for Syndergaard. Now Tyler Collins, who's had a couple of pretty good bats, and he's hit the ball on a line to left field the other way each of his first 2 at bats. Ball 1.
He has come out and thrown 4 straight breaking balls here.
Great night here at the ballpark, and a lot of folks enjoying Tigers baseball tonight. Mets in town for 3 this weekend. The 2-0 pitch is in there, 2-1. Collins not so sure about that last call. And a few guys beefing tonight, or at least disagreeing. Here's the 2-1. Way out in front, 2-2. Cabrera waiting on deck, and he'll bat with the bases empty as Collins strikes out.
Syndergaard has only thrown 1 fastball in this inning, just 1 fastball, the rest breaking ball, so he clearly has made an adjustment to the Tigers hitters.
Hey, coming up on Sunday, these Mets are in town. It's a 1:10 p.m. start. Sunday Kids Day. All kids 14 and under receive a free Miguel Cabrera Miggy Bank. Visit Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGERS. Cabrera single, ground out RBI. Little chopper hit back up the middle. Shortstop charging, quick throw, got him by a step.
Miggy was smelling it, man. He was trying to get there, Mario.
He's huffing and puffing like a little engine that could.
He was trying.
Reynolds makes the play, and we'll see what Brad Auspis wants to do here. He's saying, nope, he's waved it off. So it'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Syndergaard. 5 in the books. And nice barehanded play by Reynolds.
big home runs hit in this game, one by Kelly Johnson. He had a 2-run shot against Justin Verlander, but that lead didn't last very long for the New York Mets. Victor Martinez in the next half inning, he connects for a 2-run shot. The Tigers hold a slim lead over the New York Mets so far this evening.
Here's our game summary. Victor Martinez 2-run homer in the 4th. Kelly Johnson a 2-run shot, which briefly gave the Mets the lead. And strikeouts, Syndergaard with 5, Verlander with 7. I'm going to total that up quickly, and that's 12.
That would be 12.
Okay, thank you. Here is Alejandro De Aza to lead things off as we go to the 6th inning. Tigers lead 4-2. Castellanos on the grass at 3rd in case of a bunt. He shortened and he takes a strike. De Aza fly ball strikeout. He's 0 for 2. Justin had a 1-2-3 5th inning. Now De Aza, something in his eye, steps out. Alejandro came in batting .317 over his last 24. Ooh, good pitch. Curls around the outside part of the plate, in there for a strike. 0-2.
Yeah, percentage-wise, Verlander still has thrown more off-speed pitches in this game than he has fastballs.
One ball, 2 strikes on Verlander. Now the 1-2. Lifted back out of play. We're giving you some of the all-time numbers between these two teams. The Tigers all-time 10-8 against the Mets, so it's been a competitive interleague series. Tigers have gotten to Syndergaard in this one for 4 runs, 3 of them in the 4th. Here's the 1-2. It'll go foul. Turned out to be a nice night, a clear night here at the ballpark. There was some rain in the area before the game. Tigers, in fact, had the tarp on the field pre-game, but no wet stuff tonight.
There was a lot of humidity in the air as well earlier, but it's a nice breeze blowing now.
Swing and a miss, and De Aza is gone. It's 8 strikeouts now for JB.
Well, Yoenis Cespedes is on the disabled list now, but on Wednesday, this picture was tweeted out by Kevin Millar. I guess he was playing golf with Cespedes that morning. And then Cespedes played that night and then had to leave the game, and then they put him on the disabled list later on that evening. It's been getting a lot of play lately, Mario. You gotta take on this situation.
I got no opinion on that. You know what?
You got no opinion on it?
Terry Collins said, here's what Terry said. It had nothing to do with golf. Let's move on. It had nothing to do with golf. I mean, he kept saying that over and over in his press conference last night. And I don't know. I guess if you're going to do it, my only thing would be, don't put it on social media.
Absolutely. That's where the mistake probably was made. And I love what their manager did, Terry Collins. He backed his player, basically, is what he did, because he's got 25 guys in the clubhouse, right? And he was not going to say anything bad about Cespedes, but I guarantee you, he probably closed the door and had Cespedes come in, and he had a conversation with him. If you've got a bad leg, it's not a good look. If you put a picture out there for everybody to see and you play in New York and you know you got a bad leg.
Well, I love the quote from Sandy Alderson, who used the term, it's not good optics. It's just not good optics.
So you have a general manager who wants his player on the field, and rightfully so. So Sandy's going to say something differently than what the manager said, who has 25 guys in that clubhouse that he eats and sleeps with basically every night.
Right. Well, he's certainly a big part of their offense that they will not have this weekend. Here's the 1-2.
I know some managers, and I said this on the pregame show, they would prefer to see their players get up in the morning and go golfing because they know they got a good night's sleep. Most managers would prefer for their guys to play golf in the morning than run them streets at night.
Well, there are some people that go straight from the streets to the links, too. So that's not.
Is that how you roll?
No.
You roll like that.
I'm just saying I've seen it in the past. They'll go foul again, 1 and 2 the count. So you're assuming certain things, but I understand your assumption. Neil Walker is 0 for 2 in the game, ground out strikeout. Jay Bruce on deck.
Terry Collins is a big Detroit Tigers fan. Obviously not rooting for the Tigers tonight. But when not playing his Metropolitans, he's rooting for the Tigers.
There's a base hit to center field for Walker. 1 on, 1 out. I had a chance to work with Terry in my radio days in Anaheim. He was the skipper there for a while with the Angels. So I know you know him very well too, Rod. And this is a baseball lifer who knows the game inside and out. And I just love being around the guy.
You know, we were talking about him before the game today. He walked out of his dugout at about 6:45 or so, just walked down the first base line and just started signing all the autographs from all the fans that are here in New York in attendance.
Played his college ball at Eastern Michigan. From Midland, Michigan, Terry Collins. That's rolled foul. 0-1 on Jay Bruce. And what a thrill it had to be for him to get to the World Series last year. They fell a little bit short. The Royals winning it all last season.
If my memory serves me correctly, Jim Leyland gave Terry Collins his first coaching gig in the big leagues.
I believe you're right.
He coached for Jim in Pittsburgh. He was a career minor league manager, just like Jim was a career minor league manager before Tony La Russa gave Jim the opportunity to coach in Chicago. I believe Terry Collins got that same opportunity from Jim Leyland. And Terry Collins has never forgotten that.
No balls, 1 strikeout. Bruce. Swing and a miss. Terry was the Pirates bullpen coach from 92 to 93.
Yep, Jim indeed gave him his first chance in the big leagues.
Oh, 0-2 and a quick toss back.
My memory works right every now and then.
Every now and then. That was a good
works pretty good.
Oh, you dug that one out pretty good. 4-2. Tigers have the lead. 1 on, 1 out for the Mets. 1-2 on Bruce.
And Verlander up to 92 now. And pitch count starting to get up there. He might be at 100 before this inning is over.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's hit in the air high to center field. Playable though for Tyler Collins. Runner tags but holds.
Here is our high-speed pitch, and it is brought to you by Xfinity. And Justin Verlander, top fastball 96. He's been at that velocity on a few different pitches. And 77 would be the low on the Justin Verlander curveball.
So with 2 outs here is James Loney. 17 of them now, 95 plus for Verlander.
I'll give you one guess at how many Syndergaard has so far. 95 and above today.
Well, he's got to have at least as many. Well, he's got to have more, doesn't he?
He's got 50 at least.
He does not.
Yes, he does.
Wow.
He's got 50 at least.
It's a ball low. 1-0 the count on Loney. Loney single and a fly ball. By the way, to finish up that Collins-Leland relationship, our good friend John Keating reminds us that Terry Collins wears the number 10 because of Leland. So there's that respect and that tie there.
John Keating must be listening.
Keating's working even when he's not working.
He sent you a text.
Send me a text. Send it to you too. Well, at least I think he did.
He didn't send it to me. He don't like me.
1 ball, 1 strike on Loney.
John be here tomorrow, I believe.
Take it up with him then.
You know he's ready for that pregame show. He'll be dialed in.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Loney.
Good moving fastball here away from Loney. 2-seam fastball.
Four to 2, Tigers lead here in the 6th. Fouled away.
He did send it to me. He does like it.
I told you. He does like me. Justin in his last start threw 116 pitches against Houston. What's he up to right now? He's at 97.
97. And Brad really hasn't allowed Verlander to go all that deep in games. He's really watched his pitch count closely this year. He really has. Because there's been some times we thought maybe he'd go back out.
Boston.
Yeah, that he did not go back out.
2 starts ago, example of that.
Is that 104 in Boston, the pitches he threw that day?
110.
110 that day.
Pulled foul. Look out back into the seats.
But the one thing the Mets are doing here today is they're fouling off a lot of pitches against Verlander. They're making him work out there.
Did she catch that on the fly?
Look at him. He's proud of his lady.
He should be.
Look at him. That's my girl. Just fun to see all the smiles on the faces of the people at the ballpark. They get a foul ball.
The 1-2. Just got a piece of that one.
They have fouled off 27 of the 99 pitches that Verlander has thrown. So you got both guys, both teams fouling off a lot of pitches tonight. Grinding out at bats.
Each team with a 2-run homer. Victor for the Tigers and Johnson for the Mets. Here's the 1-2, and he missed outside. That is the 100th pitch of the night for JV.
He had a stressful second, and he also had a stressful 6th.
Meanwhile, crickets in the bullpen, nothing going on. He'll chase the runner. Walker back. Walker a single. He's there now with 2 outs.
Mario, check out Syndergaard. Have you ever seen a pitcher that's standing up watching the other pitcher in a game when he's pitching and not sitting down, usually just chilling?
I was thinking the same thing. It was odd to see him leaning over the railing. No, rarely see that. He'll fight that one off back into the seats.
I mean, he is on the railing watching Justin Verlander. I know he's good, but I just wonder if he's out there just kind of watching how Verlander goes about his business, maybe trying to learn something. You never know. Verlander's been real good for about a decade.
Normally guys are just sitting on the bench, you know, starters sitting on the bench, maybe kind of keeping to themselves, might have the arm wrapped up. He looks like a reserve just watching the game. And you're right, maybe learning a thing or two from Justin. Loney fouls off another. This one headed back to the seats. Castellanos runs out of room. Looks like the Tigers have some action now in their bullpen. They're starting to stir out beyond the left field wall. That would be Shane Green.
Boy, has he been good.
Tigers bullpen really since the All-Star break has been stepping it up.
It's one of the reasons why they've been able to win 7 of their last 8. What was it? They had an 8-game winning streak, right?
They had an 8-game.
8 of their last 9,
right.
excuse me. Bullpens come together. Starting pitching's been good. Some timely hitting.
Here's the 10th pitch in this at bat. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Verlander will walk off the field with his 9th strikeout of the night. And the Tigers will go back to work in the bottom of the 6th. Victor Martinez already a 2-run shot. He'll lead things on. Brad Ausmus on another terrific effort here tonight. 4-2 is our score as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Here's the comparison between the starters tonight.
And pretty comparable. And Syndergaard's given up 4 runs. Verlander's given up just a couple. Both guys have walked 1. Both guys have had that strikeout pitch going as well. It looked like Verlander was trying to talk his way into staying in the game.
But it doesn't appear that's going to happen. Here is Victor Martinez now as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Vmart looks at a strike. JD Martinez to follow, and then Nick Castellanos. Syndergaard's 0-1.
Tigers just have a bunch of guys that can hit good pitching. Miguel and Victor and JD Martinez, they can hit the number 1s on any team. That's just how talented they are.
Especially the guys whose strengths seem to be the good hard fastball. And you know, we saw the Tigers again struggle against Quintana,
right,
who was anything but a hard thrower. But they have turned around some upper 90s fastballs in this game. The 2-1 pitch. Little chopper, it's going to go foul. 2-2 on Victor. He clubbed a 2-run homer in the 4th inning into the seats in right field, better than 400 feet away from home plate. Tigers tonight 6 hits and only 4 for the Mets offense. Low 3-2.
And Victor got Syndergaard. This was in the 4th inning on a pitch that was tailing away from him. Victor somehow was able to reach out there and catch it and hit it about 400 feet from home plate.
Back out of play. Martinez now has hit safely in 9 of his last 11 games, and he has caught fire. He fouled a ball off his big toe a couple of nights ago. Did not play yesterday, but back in there tonight. Another foul, back out of play. So the Tigers now doing a good job of running up the pitch count on Syndergaard.
Yeah, they fouled off 26 of the 94 total pitches that Noah Syndergaard has thrown today. I don't know what it is with power pitchers and the fact that the opposing hitters just foul off so many balls.
Another foul, back out of play. Well, we're seeing it again here tonight, and we're seeing it a lot. 8 pitch at bat now for Victor. Inside and low, and Victor will get a walk. Second walk now for Syndergaard. It'll bring up JD Martinez. Saw the action in the Mets bullpen. They've got Eric Cadell warming up. JD had a double the opposite field, eventually scored on a 2-out single by McCann as part of that 3-run 4th inning. Strike called on JD. I'm talking about this a little bit yesterday, but Martinez, everybody's talking about that home run he hit a couple of nights ago and the fact that he continues to swing it. This is coming back from the DL, but man, he was on fire before he went on the disabled list. And that stint on the DL did not seem to slow him down at all.
No, since coming back, he has 4 hits, a homer, a double, couple singles.
So you wonder where his numbers would be had he not spent that time on the disabled list. Little tapper slowly back toward the mound. Going to be a tough play. Syndergaard's throw, not in time. Infield single for JD Martinez.
JD will take it. It's a swinging bunt. Syndergaard takes his time. He barehands the ball, but by the time he got the ball to Loney, the first baseman, JD Martinez, was crossing the bag. And JD does not get many infield singles.
Two on, nobody out. And that'll bring him Nick Castellanos. Walking a strikeout for Nick. Syndergaard now approaching 100. Ball 1. Tigers have done a really good job on a guy that was coming off a really good month of July. 2.45 ERA. And that ERA overall this year at 2.48 was 5th in the majors. A guy that averages almost 11 strikeouts per 9. He has only 5 so far in the game. In there, a strike called 1-1, and Castellanos didn't like it. See, that 30-pitch 4th was the biggest or the most stressful for Syndergaard. And the Tigers scored 3 against him in that inning.
And that inning could have been a whole lot worse. Justin Upton grounded into that 4-6-3 double play.
Outside, 2-1.
And Verlander's done. Over there having a conversation with Ian Kinsler.
Inning started with a walk to Victor and an infield single for JD Martinez. Here's Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Castellanos.
He has continued to pitch Castellanos inside aggressively with that fastball in the upper 90s.
Now the 2-2. Low, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
If he loses Castellanos, Terry Collins, the manager for the New York Mets, might have to go out and get a very talented young hurler. He's already at 103 pitches. And he's already pitched out of a couple of jams. More than likely, Mr. Collins will not allow Thor to try to pitch out of another jam.
And he got him, strike 3. Castellanos is caught looking on a borderline pitch. And he'll go back to the bench, 1 gone.
He threw him a slider, and he started the slider off the plate inside. We'll see how much of the plate, if any, did this slider at 91 catch.
Not much.
No, not much at all.
A couple of crooked looks there from the bench. Nick certainly feels that was not a strike. Now here is Upton, who bounced into a double play in his last at bat of the 4.63 variety. A chance to atone here in the 6th inning. Still looking for his first hit against Syndergaard. And Jay Up is now 0 for 8 against Syndergaard. Ball 1. And here we are in the 6th inning, and this guy's over 100 pitches in. That last one was 98 miles an hour.
He's the real deal. Legitimate power pitcher. The first pitch of the game was 97 miles an hour.
And a strike called. Again at 98.
There you go, Mario.
Well, you weren't kidding, were you?
Yeah. 64. 64 of the 106 that he has thrown have been above 95 miles an hour.
Upton fouls it back out of play, 1-2. Mets have Matt Harvey on the DL, but still they get Syndergaard in the series. They'll get Jacob deGrom as well. He'll throw in the Sunday game. Mets last year rode their pitching to the World Series.
And it's a young pitching staff. You know, there was some concerns about guys pitching a lot more than they ever had, ever in their careers. But, I mean, that's what happens when you go to the World Series. Same thing happened to Verlander in his first year in the big leagues, 2006. He was a rookie that year, and I think he threw over 200 innings.
Yeah, if you include the postseason.
Yeah.
He was at about 180 in the regular season. Here's a bouncing ball to third base. They'll go to second, 1, relay to first, and not in time. Upton beat it out. Wasn't hit hard enough to turn 2. 2 gone now. Runners at first and third.
And nice turn there between Johnson and also Walker, but not before Upton able to cross the bag.
That'll keep it going now for McCann. RBI single for McCann back in the 4th. Swing and a miss. 0-1 on James. He took an 0-2 pitch at his last at bat and drilled a single to right field, which scored a run with 2 outs.
And nice piece of hitting by McCann that was.
Syndergaard now about to throw his 110th. We mentioned 118 is how many he threw in his last start. And McCann looks at a strike and the count goes 0-2.
Well, since the 4th inning and the Tigers scored the 3 runs against Syndergaard, he has gone to a lot more breaking balls. Earlier in the game, it was fastball, 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 most of them 95, 96. But the Tigers were onto that fastball in the 4th inning, so he made an adjustment.
Would not chase the elevated fastball. The count is 1-2. Mets pitching came into the series ranked 3rd in the majors with a 3.39 ERA, not just the National League, but the major leagues. Swing and a miss, and down goes McCann to end the 6th. 7 strikeouts for Syndergaard. No runs. Couple of men left, and we go to the 7th.
Lead here heading into the top of the 7th inning. Earlier today here at Comerica Park, the man of the hour was Nick Castellanos as he took part in Dia en el Parque here as part of Fiesta Tigres. That's the 3rd annual celebration here where they invite kids from a youth baseball organization. This year it was the Southwest Aztecs. About 60 kids came out. Nick Castellanos, he came out, did a Q&A, signed every one of those guys and young ladies autograph today. Talked to him about everything from his favorite walk-up music to healthy eating habits. And he said you always want to have a colorful plate, but that doesn't mean loaded up with M&Ms. But anyway, it was good, man. The kids were hanging on every word. And again, it's all part of the Fiesta Tigres celebration. And of course, that'll be, taken full-fledged tomorrow. We've got obviously a special pregame show planned, and then of course throughout the night. It's going to be a fun day.
All right, Johnny, thanks.
Johnny Kane rolling those R's too, like he took some Spanish classes.
Dia en el Parque. All-side windows pitching change. Shane Green is on with Kelly Johnson up there, and a ground ball hit to the right side. That'll be Kinsler.
It appears that Shane Green has found his niche pitching in the back end of the Tigers bullpen. His stuff has just played very well pitching in the 7th or the 8th. Fastball gets up to 95. Also cuts the fastball about 89 to 91 in a real nice breaking ball. And then he uses for his off-speed pitch.
Verlander goes 6, and now Green here in the 7th. Justin Wilson warming up now, the left-hander. Brandon Nimmo looks at a strike 0-1. The home plate umpire Ryan Blackney tonight has been very liberal with the edges of the strike zone. And really it's been that way on both sides. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. 95 from Green. Gotta love the way the Tigers bullpen has been pitching recently, especially since the break.
Right.
Green's been a big part of that.
Well, this much we do know. They're the team that really has the hottest bullpen at the end of the season and into the postseason. Whichever teams are fortunate enough to get in, those are usually the teams that win.
Here's a couple of guys out of Tigers pen since the break that have been awfully good.
It's good to see. Brad's got some options in the back end of the bullpen with Wilson and Green holding the opposition to a sub 200 batting average, and they haven't given up many runs. Those 2 runs that Green gave up came in a game where the Tigers were winning by about 7-8 runs.
There's the ball high and away, 2-2. And for his part, Shane Green seemingly has really enjoyed this role. Brad knows he can really count on him.
And Brad said a couple of nights ago, I don't know if he likes it or not, but he's going to pitch back there.
Old foul. Well, I think most guys, Rod, would prefer to start. You know, and Shane's done it, and that probably was his role at the beginning of the year. But when you have success in a certain role, and Green has certainly done that at the back end of the pen, I think you feel like you're part of the ball club, you're contributing, and so he's probably good with it.
That's a great point. He feels like he's part of the ball club and helping his team in the role that they need him in for this year. It remains to be seen whether he's a starter again in his career, but right now he is most valuable in that bullpen.
2-2 is outside. 3-2 on Brandon Nimmo. Rene Rivera waiting on deck. Swing and a miss, and Green is able to dust him. 2 away. That is 10 strikeouts for Tigers pitching tonight. Hey, follow Tigers baseball live with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. It certainly gets a workout on my phone and or tablet. Here's Rivera.
It's my favorite app.
There's a ball outside, 1-0 the count.
And the Tigers continue to pitch Rivera the same exact way. Every single pitch that Verlander threw him was outside, and Shane Green also starts him away. At some point in time, you have to know exactly how they're pitching you.
One. Tigers trying to win their 60th game of the year. They lead 4-2 in the 7th. Ooh, he went around. Strike called. 1-2.
There's a pretty good chance they're going to go away here again with this 4th pitch of this pitch sequence to the catcher Rivera. And the first 3 have been away.
Swing and a miss. See you later. 1-2-3 for Green. A dominant 7th. We go to the stretch, and the little peeps on the merry-go-round. By the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Chevrolet, more than you expect for less than you imagine. Jose Iglesias getting set to start things off here as we go to the bottom of the 7th. 4 runs on 7 hits for the Tigers in this game. They'll face a new pitcher now. It's going to be Eric Goodell in a Wallside Windows pitching change.
He checks in with a 3.43 ERA. He has a whip that is under 118 strikeouts. He's only walked 4.
First one is in there for a strike on Jose. Iglesias, couple of ground ball outs, 0 for 2.
And Goodell has a fastball that averages about 92 miles an hour. Also has a slider.
Another ground ball, this one to third. Johnson's throw is in time. 0 for 3 tonight for Iglesias.
And Goodell also has a curveball and a splitter. And he throws his splitter quite often, about 25% of the time.
Eric Goodell hails from San Mateo, California. In the big leagues parts of each of the last 2 years, 35 appearances out of their bullpen last year. Kinsler, the batter. Ball 1 to Ian.
Pretty good pitching matchup here tonight between Verlander and also Noah Syndergaard. 6 runs given up between them, but it's a pretty good theater.
Line drive to right field, going to be caught by Jay Bruce. I would agree with that. I thought Syndergaard had a chance to be more dominant based on his stuff, but we've talked about how the Tigers, man, they take some of the best in the league, especially fastball pitchers, and they can handle it.
And they've beat some really good right-handers with some really good stuff this year. Jose Fernandez comes to mind. They beat Garrett Cole earlier this year, another good hard-throwing right-hander.
16 strikeouts between the 2 pitchers tonight. There's a ball that skips back to the screen, 1 out. Tyler Collins stepping in. Collins 0 for 3. In there, a strike called, 1-1.
And nice little bender and tossed up there by Goodell.
And darts low.
And most guys that feature the split-fingered fastball, they'll simply grab that grip while they're standing on the mound. And then Goodell, depending on what he throws, he'll either change it or he'll throw it. That time he just threw it. He pretended like he was changing the grip, but he never changed the grip. But it's a little bit easier for the guys to, when they do go in with that split-fingered fastball, they don't want to disguise whether they're going to change it or not.
Wave and a miss, and Collins strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. Goodell with a 1-2-3 7th. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Eighth inning, Mario and Rod back here at the ballpark, and well, it was billed as a really good pitching matchup tonight, Rod. We saw Verlander throw a really good game. The Tigers, though, got the Syndergaard a little bit.
Well, I like the way that both pitchers kind of made an adjustment here today. Verlander throwing a lot of breaking balls early, then Kelly Johnson touching for the 2-run home run. So Syndergaard also had his foot on the gas pedal, a lot of fastballs, and he went to breaking balls, but some really good at-bats by both teams against some pretty good starters.
Yeah, now, one of the big at-bats, obviously, was Victor Martinez with the home run, but maybe the bigger at-bat was the at-bat that McCann had to get the Tigers their 4th run.
Huge at-bat. I mean, he was down 0-2 and did not look like he was going to make some good, solid contact against Syndergaard, and he threw him a fastball down and away, and he used his hands perfectly and drove in a huge run with 2 outs.
So the Tigers go back to the bullpen. Now Justin Wilson will come on to pitch the 8th inning for the Tigers. And Wilson goes to work and fires it low to Matt Reynolds. Reynolds to be followed by Granderson and then De Aza. Tigers have 4 runs, 7 hits, and the Mets 2 runs on just 4 hits this evening. That'll bust inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
And Wilson's got a really good arm as well for a left-hander. He gets up to about 95, on occasion 96. He's got a couple nice breaking balls as well to keep hitters off balance. Doesn't walk very many. Comes right after you.
Shane Green had a 1-2-3-7. Went around. So Tigers pitching tonight with 11 strikeouts, 9 for JD, who stands to be the winner if the Tigers can close this one out. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Curtis Granderson waiting on deck. It's been a tough night for Reynolds. He has struck out twice and perhaps on the verge of whiffing again. Popped it up instead. First base side for Cabrera. 1 out.
Well, at the trade deadline last year, the Tigers traded Cespedes to the Mets. They received Michael Fulmer and Luis Cessa. You've seen what Fulmer has been able to do so far this year. And then Cessa was traded before the season started to the Yankees for Justin Wilson. So it's a nice little deal there Tigers made in moving Cespedes and getting themselves a couple good big league players. Because really you could say they traded Cespedes for Wilson and also Fulmer, correct?
Fulmer, yep. And the Fulmer part of that deal,
oh goodness,
awfully impressive. 9 wins so far for Michael Fulmer.
Can you imagine if he was in that Mets rotation?
That'd be scary. 1 ball, 1 strike on Granderson. I mean, think about the pitching they produced. I mean, guys like, yes, they went out and got Syndergaard in a trade, but you know, Harvey in that rotation, DeGrom and Fulmer could have been in that rotation. Little low, 2 balls, 1 strike on Granderson.
Steven Matz, pretty good pitcher
yeah.
too. And Bartolo Colon, at 40+ years, still winning big league baseball games.
That's right. Wheeler as well. There's a bouncer foul, first base side. Now they did get Cespedes, who really played a large part in getting the Mets to the World Series last year.
Oh, they don't get to the World Series last year if they don't acquire Cespedes.
So giving up Fulmer and watching what he is doing this year is tempered by the fact that they got some pretty good production out of Yoenis. It'll spin inside, and the count now on Grandy is 3-2. Oh for 3 tonight for the former Tiger. strike 3. Anderson called out on strikes.
Speaking of Bartolo Colon, Mario, is there another player in the game of baseball who we enjoy watching more do things on the baseball field?
Oh, the whole game he wants to get it.
Oh, look at that play.
You just got to love him, man. Look at him. They got him in slow motion.
He's got a big smile on his face. Colon has been in the game a long time.
Got to love him. This guy's reinvented himself, man. He used to throw 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. That sky toward left. Upton is on the run. He's going to get there. Justin Wilson, a 1-2-3 8th inning. Tiger bullpen doing good work again tonight.
Magic window on this day back in 2012. The Tigers rally for 5 runs with 2 outs in the bottom half of the 10th inning. They had 2 outs and nobody on base. Cabrera, he capped it off with a 2-run walk-off home run against Chris Perez of the Cleveland Indians.
And almost forgot about Chris Perez.
It's been a while since we've seen him.
Miggy shoots one to right field. That'll be a leadoff single.
Do it, Miggy.
Here in the bottom of the 8th. That'll be his 2nd hit of the night. And now Victor Martinez will stand in. B-Mart with a 2-run shot in the 4th. And that put the Tigers up at that point 3-2. They added 1 more on a single by McCann to drive in another. Victor also has a walk in this game. Tigers would like to pad the lead a little bit. They lead 4-2.
And they've got the right guy at the dish. And Victor simply is sitting in scoring position himself. Middle of the Tigers batting orders had a real nice day today. Cabrera, V-Mark, JD.
I know we said this the other day, but boy, the addition of JD Martinez just lengthens this lineup so much. Even on a night tonight, Ron, where Cameron Maybin is not in the lineup,
right?
It's still pretty deep.
Yep. Kinsler got it going early in the very first inning against Syndergaard. That let everybody in the bench know. Now, this guy's good, but we can still get him. What'd you hear on Maybin today? You hear anything on Cameron? That left thumb?
No, I didn't hear anything new. It's day to day. I'm sure it's getting better by the day. It's only a sprain. Fortunately, nothing broken there.
It's the type of injury, though, that you just can't really force the issue because you need your hands to swing the bat. You need to be able to grip the bat. You need to be able to rest your thumb on the bat to take good swings. And that's why they've taken a couple of days just giving him more time to heal.
Well, as long as you keep winning without him, let him get the thing healed up, then get it back in. The home run that Martinez hit in the fourth was his 19th of the year. Missed it inside, and the count now 3-1 on Victor.
If he gets a fastball here inside from Goodell, he might just hit his second 2-run homer of the game. He will be cheating on the fastball inside. He'll open up the hips early, and if he gets the pitch he's looking for, Victor usually barrels it up pretty good. Doesn't look like they're going to give him the fastball, though.
Pretty good 3-1 pitch there. 3-2.
Excellent 3-1 pitch.
Yankees beating up on Cleveland tonight 11-4. So if that score holds and this one does as well, Tigers gain another game on Cleveland. Swing and a miss, and down he goes.
That's an outstanding job of pitching there by Goodell, getting ahead of Victor. Mauro, you just brought this up, the fact that J.D. Martinez has come back and done well, but really he was getting busy before he went on the disabled list since June 3rd. He's played 15 games. That would be J.D., and he's compiled nearly a 500 batting average with lots of extra base damage. Man, that swing is pretty.
And he just continues to roll. J.D. double, single in the ball game tonight. Martinez has that sleeve on that right elbow, which he'll probably wear most of the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's what he told me a couple of days ago. He says he has to wear that to make sure he keeps the elbow warm. And the broken elbow.
That ball is skied in the air to left field. It's going to go to the warning track. And Nimmo makes the catch, chasing Cabrera back. J.D. nearly hit that one out.
Sounded like he might have got it right off the end of the bat. And it looked like he hit it right off the end of the bat. J.D. knew it as soon as he made contact. That was not going out.
Two outs, and here is Castellanos. Driven deep to center field. Castellanos puts a charge into this one, but it's going to be run down at the warning track by De Aza. That'll be it for the Tigers here in the 8th inning. No runs, one hit, one man left. Here comes K-Rod. Two-run homer in the fourth inning. Kelly Johnson, two-run shot off JV in the fourth as well, but Verlander was really good tonight.
6 innings, only gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs. The 2 earned runs came on 1 blow off the bat of Kelly Johnson, their third baseman.
So the Tigers now trying to finish this one off, the closer out there.
He is second in the American League to Britton in saves this year. Britton has 33, and Rodriguez looking for number 31 tonight against one of his former teams.
Andrew Romine will come into play third base. Castellanos is out of the game. Yeah, Frankie, a former New York Met. First one home is a strike call to Neil Walker.
And Francisco Rodriguez had 83 saves. And with the Mets, what does he have, like 404 career?
415-ish.
415?
It's 416.
83 of those as the New York Met.
There's a line drive to center field. That's going to be a base hit. The leadoff man is on. Single for Walker. Hey, by the way, Tigers T-shirt Fridays continue August 19th. Tigers battle the Red Sox at 7:10 p.m. Get a game ticket plus a Justin Verlander emoji T-shirt when you purchase exclusively at Tigers.com/T-shirt Fridays.
Well, this much we do know: when Boston does come to town, they're going to be a little angry because the Tigers took care of them in their own yard. They swept the Boston Red Sox a week ago or so in in Boston.
Careful here now as Jay Bruce steps in. Tying run at the plate, 4-2 ball game. That'll bounce in and away from McCann. Advance the runner. So now Walker goes to second.
Yeah, you don't see that very often with McCann behind the plate. You don't see balls trickle through his legs. Changeup. McCann gets down but pulls the glove up just a little bit too soon and hits right off the tip of the glove and squirts right between the legs.
Wild pitch. Meanwhile, 2-0 on Bruce. Playing to pull on the infield against Jay Bruce. Ball 3 low.
And Jay Bruce has seen Rodriguez 12 times. He is 2 for 12 in his career against Rodriguez. They've got the shift on Bruce.
Frankie was an all-star with the Mets in 09 when he saved 35 games. Here's the 3-0. He was swinging. 3-1.
And Rodriguez had a feeling that he would be swinging, therefore he threw him a changeup. That's something that Rodriguez never really does. He does not give in. Very seldom throws a fastball in a fastball count.
Full count now, 3-2. Wednesday, Rodriguez saved the game for the Tigers, but he threw 30 pitches.
You know, the guys that sit in the bullpen with Rodriguez on a nightly basis, they say that his leadership skills out in the bullpen are invaluable. He's helped guys out like Green and Wilson and Rondon.
Bouncing ball, first base side. That's a fair ball. Miggy tags the bag for the out. Bruce is retired. Advanced the runner to third. 1 gone.
So it's nice to have that guy in your bullpen that's been as successful as Rodriguez has and willing to share that knowledge of how guys get ready, how you prepare, which pitches you throw to certain guys.
Once upon a time, it was Troy Percival who was helping out Frankie Rodriguez when he was a rookie.
Oh.
And Lee Smith did it for Troy Percival when Percival was a rookie.
Paying it forward, huh?
That's what those guys do. And so Frankie now is the elder statesman, passing along the knowledge.
You'd have to believe that it's had an impact on guys like Rondon, guys like Alex Wilson, guys like Shane Green. All have been good lately.
James Loney looks at a strike. 1 for 8 with 4 strikeouts for Loney against K-Rod. Here's the 0-1. A bullet hit right to the first baseman, Cabrera. It'll score the run, but there are 2 gone now, and the bases are empty. RBI for Loney. 4-3 ball game now, 2 outs. Tigers came in 3 back behind Cleveland. They are being pummeled tonight by the Yankees. There you go in the top of the 8th inning, 11-5. So if the Tigers can get 1 more out here, they could wake up tomorrow morning 2 games back. Kelly Johnson, the batter. Strike 1 on the outer edge. Two-run shot for Johnson in the 4th. Ground ball right side. Should do it. Kinsler. Tigers win game 1.
It's a nice bounce back win here tonight. First game of the weekend series against the New York Mets.
Francisco Rodriguez gets it done in the 9th, and the Tigers go on to win against Syndergaard of the Mets. JV will get the victory tonight, 4-3, your final score. We'll be back to Comerica Park